Hi, good afternoon everyone. We are covering Christmas episodes at the moment, so I'm going to make you my family's favorite tomato soup. I have been trying for years and years to change their mind to have something else for starter, but it's very difficult to change their minds. So every time I think about it or talk about it, they'll say no, we're going back to tomato soup. So the reason they tell me is they don't want to risk it. So it's their favorite. So to do that, I have 3 types of tomato here. So there is small plum tomatoes, wine tomatoes and some normal salad tomatoes. I have washed and prepared them. This tray might look horrible, but this is the very old tray, but it works wonders. Once it gets heated up, it roasts things very quickly and very nicely. So to that, we're going to add 2 medium onions, 1 yellow pepper, 2 small carrots and 1 garlic chopped in half. The reason I've done this is because it will roast nicely and soften in the skin and it won't burn. So we will just place that there, and to that we will add generous amount of salt, and then we have some Italian herbs with chili flakes, some dry herbs, oregano and some garlic flake, dry garlic flakes. That will give it amazing bit of a kick as well. So I would say about a teaspoon and a half. To that we'll add a little bit of garlic granules, so it will be really garlicky. Then some freshly ground black pepper, generous amount, and then another generous amount of olive oil. Then we will roast them all in one pan, and then I will show you what to do. So I would say about half a teacup. So I'm going to roast these on very high oven. It's on maximum heat. So then we will need some stock. So if you don't have meat or chicken, you can always use vegetable stock, which you can make by roasting vegetables and putting herbs like I will do now, and lots of garlic, and then boil it up and strain it, and that will give you vegetable stock. But I'm going to use chicken stock. For that I've got 500 grams of chicken wings. Again, I'm going to use the same spices but very little. And generous amount of salt. So we're going to roast our chicken wings. I made a really nice foil bed for our wings. I've already marinated them in our Italian herbs. So I will place them in here nicely. I'm going to add some onion, but I'm not going to peel them because we only need to use it for flavoring. I'll just roughly throw it on top there. Salt. And then I'm going to chop a couple of carrots and place them on top too. Generous amount of pepper. Then some garlic granule. And then olive oil. So I'm going to let them roast in my air fryer for about 30 minutes. Then I will boil them to take the stock out, and the rest will go in the bin. So the reason I have put foil in there is to save the stock and juices coming out of chicken, otherwise the air fryer, it will all leak through. So our air fryer is going on 200°, and I'm going to leave it for 20 minutes first, and if it needs further 10 minutes, so only totally will need 30 minutes. So let's check them out after 20 minutes. Our tomatoes have been roasted so nicely. They're looking very, very beautiful. Then we roasted our chicken wings, vegetables in the air fryer. So that took 30 minutes and they are perfect. So then these vegetables been in the oven for about 35 minutes and they're looking very beautiful. So I'm going to blend them in my blender, then add some oregano. Then I have some French dark sourdough toast. To that I have added extra mature cheese, sprinkled with a tiny bit of oregano, and I'm going to broil them. Then they'll be nice and hot. In the meantime, I'm going to blend this, boil the stock to make the stock out of this, and then then I will drain it, get rid of the wings and only use the stock. So let's do that. If we push all the garlic out, it came out so easily. So there's a little bit of sauce left in there. I'm going to add hot water in there, put it in the stock to boil and bring out the stock from the chicken wings. Beautiful. Now hot water for chicken wings. So now we're going to whiz our vegetables. To that we're going to add 500 grams of masasa. Okay, so this is blended really nicely. It's so fine. If you feel that your blender cannot blend very well, you can always strain it. So if there's any lumps in there, they'll come out. But this one looks very creamy. I'm going to take it over and add some stock to it, and then I'll check if I need to season a bit more. I will season, and I'm going to add a little bit of oregano. Okay, our stock has been boiling and it looks lovely. So I'm going to add little at a time to our soup, which is pretty thick at the moment, and then we will check the spices and salt, and we also need to add a little bit sprinkle of oregano, just maybe half a teaspoon. The reason we can't adjust our spices or salt because there's salt and herbs in the stock as well. That looks like a perfect consistency. We can leave it to boil for another 10 minutes. We have been making tomato soup for our Christmas starter. So with that we had a French dark sourdough toast that we toasted or broiled with extra strong cheddar cheese, and then we made our tomato soup, which looks delicious. Let's taste and see. And you can just dip your toast. Absolutely delicious. So this is how you do starter for Christmas: tomato soup with chicken stock. If you choose, you can do it with vegetable stock, and then you can either get round crusty bread and you make your toast with cheese, or you can use sourdough bread. It's entirely up to you. You can even do croutons. So there we go. Merry Christmas from Kath's Kitchen.